Your
nostrum is the your nostrum is not my problem, but I'll smoke one if you got one. Lonesome, so come home soon.
Good morning. Welcome. Yankees, Red Sox, Rays, and come on, Teamus. Angelo, how the hell are you, man? It's been a while.
It has been a while. Everything's good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Well, that's a lie. Getting swept by the Mariners is not good. That's not what you want. That's not good. Lord, Teamus, be careful. There's a big poppy right behind you, and which means gunfire could ensue at any moment. He could get mistaken for somebody. Teamus, how the hell are you?
I'm good. Losing 2 out of 3 to Kansas City doesn't feel much better, just so you know.
So before we go diving into this, first of all, for people who haven't joined us before, we talk strictly American League East baseball, primarily Red Sox, Yankees, and Rays. Have rebranded it the Catbird seat, mainly because I couldn't get an answer from Teamus, and that was a term used by the beloved Red Barber, who was a New York icon in broadcasting. So I figured, what the hell, we'll go with him. He was from Florida. He spent most of his career in Brooklyn, New York. So you kind of have both ties, whatever. All right. So let's go ahead and get everyone caught up to speed with where we're at. Because right now, the Boston Red Sox are now a half game in front in the AL East. The Rays are a half game out. And the Yankees, here they come. They've won 2 in a row. They're 4.5 out. We'll start with you, Angelo. How are you feeling about your New York Yankees this morning?
I mean, when you win 5 of the last 6, right, you have to be happy. You know, the start of the season was kind of iffy. We've had some injuries, but, you know, as of late, I think we've won 4 of the last 5 series. This weekend was a big series win. You know, we have the off day today, then we play the Royals in the 3-game series. That's another big one, right? If we could win 2 out of 3 or sweep, we'll be looking good going into that weekend series versus Boston for a little payback after earlier this month. But, you know, I'm looking right now at the schedule for June, and they've lost 2 series. Obviously, that sweep versus the Red Sox looms large. You know, if we could even gotten 1, we'd be 3 back right now. We had won that series, we maybe even 2 back. And then that Phillies sweep, the short 2-game series. But, you know, it looks like we are catching fire, as you said, here come the Yankees, right? There was going to be some point where we make that push, but now it's going to depend on pitching. I think our hitting is slowly starting to creep up. But pitching, you know, besides Garrett Cole, you know, and Loisago comes in from the bullpen, I think we need someone else to step up.
So speaking of pitching, today's the day where Major League Baseball starts cracking down on the spider tack and the sunscreen and everything else that they've been using. Teamus, with all that being said, how concerned are you that this might affect any or all of your pitchers on the Red Sox staff?
Well, I'd be foolish to say that, oh, well, we don't have anything to worry. Everybody has something to worry about now.
At least you're not using your Apple Watch anymore. At least we got rid of that.
Yeah. I think everybody's going to be affected by it. I mean, I'm very curious to see how big of a pendulum swing this is going to cause. A lot of people are just in uproar about it, saying, oh, well, the hitters should just be better. The pitchers need to do what they need to do. It's a hard enough job as is, and all this other stuff. And it's going to change baseball. The batting averages are going to skyrocket now. I'm not convinced. I still think you can hit a curveball or you can't. Do I think the sticky stuff makes that big of a difference? I don't know. I've never stood in a batter's box. But is there going to be a difference? Is it going to be an issue for everyone? Yeah. I do think that
It's essentially going to slow the ball down. I mean, for people who don't really get this and what it is, it's going to slow the ball down, because when you're using whatever you're using, and this isn't like the old spitball where they would put Vaseline or whatever on the shit on the ball to try to make it dance. This is something sticky, so that when you snap your wrist, whether it's a fastball, curveball, whatever, you're gonna get more torque because you have a better grip and it's gonna fly out. So the reason why this all came about, because they looked over the last several years how the RPMs of these balls were just steadily going up. Everybody knew something was going on, because out of nowhere, and I remember it was like mid-decade, last decade, you're like, why does everybody have 3 or 4 guys who can throw 100 miles an hour all of a sudden, right? I never would have thought it was because of spider attack, because I didn't know what the hell it was at the time. But that's essentially what they're doing. And so I expect offenses to come alive. If nothing else, I think it's going to get in the pitchers' heads, and the pitchers who are going to, son of a bitch, because I don't have this and this is why I can't throw. Who's going to blame? They're going to be the ones most affected. The ones that are, it is what it is, we got to figure out a way around it. They will be the ones that will be the most successful. But I mean, I figure it's going to, it's got to affect the Rays. They do nothing but analytics, man. So there's no way they weren't using some kind of spider tack or whatever the hell it is. When you have Glasnow coming out and complaining already, saying that that's why he got hurt and da 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 da. And I won't rehash that. What's that?
That's a bit of a stretch. When I heard,
I don't think so, man. I think he had a point. And the reason why I'll say this, I get it. You want to get rid of the spider attack, and that's fine. But where the hell were you, you incompetent boob Robert Manfraud, at the beginning of the season? This isn't the first time this has happened. Why in the hell did you not attack this year, or say, hey, going into next spring, it's weird to change the way you play in the middle of the season?
I agree.
It's like I said it last week. It's like them coming up to you in the middle of a football season. By the way, we're not going to wear pads anymore. Okay. But it won't be till next Thursday. You'll be fine. Okay. We'll see you then. Yeah. Wait, what? What? I'm not, you're going to change the way I prepare. You're going to change the way I play the game. I think it's a big deal, and it's going to be interesting to see how many injuries come about because of this, because the way he was describing it was this, for people who didn't see it, was that normally when they throw the ball, it's like in their hand, almost like an egg, right? And they're trying not to hold it very hard, but that spider tack or whatever you use, I think he was using sunscreen and rosin. It allows you to hold it looser, but you still have grip, and you can zip it. Now he's holding it deeper into his hand, so he doesn't lose control. And he's basically saying, I used muscles that I hadn't used before, and that attributed to the injury.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but so now he's throwing the way that you're supposed to throw the ball, right? Like high school pitchers, college pitchers. So I mean,
except they're using it too, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of crackdowns there, because it's not like Major League Baseball locker rooms are the only one. They were doing it in the minors, everything. So I'm not saying for any stretch of the imagination that I think they should be allowed to use it. I'm saying to do it in June, in the middle of a year, is asinine.
No, I agree completely. If you're going to do it, you should have told them at the end of last season, said, hey, start, recognize by opening day.
Garrett Cole said it best. Talk to us. Why didn't we have a conversation about this? Right.
Right. Yeah, I agree with Garrett as well. It's weird timing, and
wait till Garrett Cole and Eovaldi go down with Tommy John surgery in middle of July, and you're like, oh, this is crap. What the hell was Ron Redford doing? And that's essentially what happened to Glasnow. He did get good news. He's not going to have surgery. He expects to be back in a couple of months. They're going to try to make things do without it. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm seeing this with Glasnow colored glasses, but I thought he made valid points. And he even said when the fact that he talked about after the Washington Nationals start, that's where the injury. He came out sore, and then he went up against the White Sox, and that's where the injury at. Now, I will say this. When he came out of the Nationals game the next day when he was feeling sore in all kinds of places that he'd never seen before, I definitely believe he should have went to the trainers and said, dude, I don't feel right. I'm sore. They should have pushed him back another 5 days on a start or something, right? Put him on the 10-day IL, find out what's going on with it before. So I will say that was a bad job by him if he did not relay that information. But there's no way it doesn't affect the game.
I don't know. I still think it's I wouldn't say a cop out, but to say, I mean, the arm is not supposed to be throwing 101 miles an hour, right? The fastballs. So I think it's more, and I get what you're saying about the speed has to do with the rotations too, as you mentioned. Right. Now,
because it's the snap of the ball.
It's the right. And if you do look at the last, like when Garrett Cole last pitched, the Yes broadcast team, they put up something on the screen, and it showed you how since June, right? These are the rotations per minute, the whatever the RPMs per pitch, and then the last start, how you've seen it go down and down, right? So that it's obviously being affected now that it's out there, but. Now if all pitchers start coming out and saying there's going to be shoulder issues, or I think
DeGrom had a shoulder injury last week, right?
Who?
DeGrom.
Yeah, but they rushed him back after that first one. He got hurt a couple weeks ago.
I get that, but that was all during about the time on June 4th when this whole controversy started being talked about.
Well, we'll see if he uses that. I just think it'll be. I can't find the right word, but
we will know at the end of the season if we see a bunch of pitchers hitting the IL, and you end up we're in the middle of October and it's a bunch of bullpens, right? Which is not good for the game either. So, right. And like I said, I'm not defending Glasnow and saying he should be able to use the spider tack he wasn't actually used. I think that's the most deadly stuff was that spider tack. But I'm saying that the timing of it is stupid, and you're changing the way someone prepares is what I'm getting at. Changing the way someone prepares throwing. We already have injuries with the arms. You're changing the way that they prepare, and that's what concerns me across the board. But anyways, we can move on from that. Timus, you wanted to talk about Bronson Arroyo?
No, I meant Christian. Really late at night, and I was typing, and as soon as you sent it back, I was like, what is he talking about? He's not. Oh man, I'm an idiot. Sorry.
I saw Bronson Arroyo. I was like, did I have a stroke or something? Is he still playing? What's going on? Like,
no, to my knowledge,
is this?
I don't think he has the cornrows anymore either, which is, it's always a good thing when you can say I no longer have cornrows. But
if he does, I bet he's getting canceled somewhere.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Christian Arroyo is who I was referring to. That was a pretty funny response, though, I got from you. I'll give you that. I think he is, well, he's always going to be associated with Mookie Betts, and which is nobody's as good as Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, but but he has really softened the blow in Boston. We're always going to miss Mookie. Everybody loved him. He's, the second best player in baseball, all that, but he's no longer with us. So it's time to dry it up, keep moving forward. But
let it go. He's not coming back. He didn't want to be in Boston. Let it go.
I know. It's hard though. It's hard. It was
Johnny Damon all over again.
It's not Johnny Damon all over again. Mookie Betts and Johnny Damon aren't even in the same sport. But Christian's got a lot of Pedroia. I see a lot. He reminds me a lot of Pedroia. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, but the more at bats and steady playing time that he gets, you can see like he's really starting to find his footing now. when they were pulling him up and sending him back down and everything. And Pedroia was the same way. They almost sent him back to the minors too. And then finally he caught a groove. He started seeing enough pitches and everything. It's the same kind of feel for Christian. And he's starting to really come around. He's a fun player.
I just think you have crushes on like the scrawny white dude on the team, man. I think that's what it comes down to. It's just like the way Angelo has to tell me any guy who's ever played anything that has Greek heritage. It's like,
How about Giannis? Big win.
I'm surprised I'm not looking at the Greek freak picture behind you, like the way we got Big Poppy behind. You were the first person I thought of when I saw. I was like, well, he didn't choke this one away. Good for him. Good for him.
That's a career-changing game.
He wasn't even the guy that won the series. He's Robin.
Sorry to hijack this conversation, but if they lost, he'd be pointed.
Because he's got 2 MVPs.
Right.
But
go ahead.
He was definitely Robin and not Batman in that series. That's a different story for a different show. We'll wait till the college football show to start talking about that. Anyways, so you're all in on Arroyo. I'm taking it. I looked up his stats. And I mean, they're okay, but they're nothing to write home about.
No, I'm saying it's starting is what I'm saying. He was not getting consistent playing time. He was up, he was down. But now he's just a fun guy to watch. He has so much fun out there. He hits a home run. He is like a little 12-year-old kid running around the bases and everything. He's playing with the fans when he's in the on-deck circle and stuff like that. He's pretty unique as far as that goes, because you don't really see that a whole lot in the majors. And
all right, well, the way I look at it is this: we've talked way too far too long about a guy who's hitting 264 with 19 RBIs. Okay, the guy's got like what does he have, like a 700 OPS? Yeah, a 750 OPS. He might be a good little spark plug, but he's not going to be the reason why Boston wins or loses the division. I think that's going to honestly. I think it's all going to rest on what do you get at Chris Sale this year.
That's a big part.
And just like that, I think with New York, what are they going to get out of Severino? Right? Because he's on his way back as well. You honestly have the 3 best pitchers in the division are all on the IL right now. Glasnow, Sale, and Severino. I guess Cole is.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about Garrett?
Well, Cole's headed to the IL after he has to, because this is the first time that he won't use spider tack in forever. So his elbow's falling off. We're not worried about him right now. But as far as those are 3 big pieces that all could come back around the same time. I think Glasnow a little later. I think Glasnow more likely end of August, but the other 2 could come in as early as late July, early August. That's like getting a huge chip at the trade deadline. With that being said, New York Yankees, we really haven't talked much Yankees on this show yet, Angelo. Where do you see them going in the trade market?
They're going to need a starter.
Do you think that's where it ends? Do they just focus on getting a starter? Because they got a pretty good bullpen, right?
Right.
By the way, that triple play to end the game yesterday. Wow, what that was cool. That was
3
cool.
triple plays in what span of how many days?
Oh yeah, it's their 3rd one this year.
I saw it.
And these things are like perfect game kind of rare. And then you know 3 of them.
It's the triple play. I think it's difficult, but it's not as hard, I think, as a lot of people think. Like the one yesterday, it was a hard ground ball to third. Usually people just go to second, right, to turn the double play. He made the right play. He knew he had a slow runner.
Yeah, but they're so hard because they're so rare, because you have to have the perfect situation. Not only do you have to have 2 force outs available, there has to be no outs in the inning.
Well, I think the second
got to get a ground ball. It's got to be hit right at the third baseman, unless there's something goofy. We have all seen the goofy triple plays, but I'm talking about your typical triple play is third to second to first, right? Which is what they got. It was, but it was cool because I was like, man, if I was a Yankee fan, I'd be and watching that game because I think of like if I'm watching my team, I always put myself in the mindset of the fan that's watching. If I was watching my team and that happened, I'd be like, I mean, I would lose it because that's like, and at the same token, if you're the other team, oh man.
Yeah, it's a gut punch. But the one that I enjoyed the most was the second one.
That's what I was just
like
yeah.
Pitcher to second to catcher or something weird, and then this fan was eating a hot dog and he tossed it to the first base coach and he tagged somebody. I was like, what did I just see? And I was like, holy crap, that's a triple. Like they're all, I saw the guys walking off the field and I'm like, oh my. I mean, it's the
What
Yankees.
was more amazing, that or the Pittsburgh Pirates not realizing they could step on first base to end the inning and Javi Baez stole a run from them a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
I mean, that's arguably the stupidest play I've ever seen in the history of baseball.
You know what? Once he threw the ball, though, then if they step on the base afterwards, the runner is safe at home.
No.
So, right. So once he threw the ball,
all they had to do was get the runner out. Are you talking about the Pittsburgh game, or are you talking about something else?
No, the ground ball to first. Once he started going home, that's fine. You could turn around and step on first. But once he threw the ball to the catcher, then if the run scores before they get the runner at first out, then the run is safe. Because
that's
an
not
open play,
and that's why he scored, because the guy didn't know the rule. It's a forced play. It's a forced play. If you get the forced play, it kills anything before it because it was the last out of the inning. There was 2 outs. All he had to do was if that runner scores, okay, and then that catcher had not thrown it up the line, but he threw it right to somebody and he steps on first, that run never counts.
It does, though, because
no, it doesn't. It absolutely does not. It's a forced play.
Not. No, if it's a forced play, it doesn't count.
There's 2 outs in the inning, and that was what was so dumbfounding of that. That's why it's the stupidest play I've ever seen in Major League Baseball history, because the guy did not know that he didn't have to worry about the stupid run. He didn't have to worry about it at all. I mean, honestly, the smartest thing to do would just to be make a U-turn and run to first and tag it, right? But he never had to worry about the guy coming in, because once that hits, see, it's different if there's less than 2 outs or if that wasn't a forced play, because that's why you'll see guys getting run downs and try to get the guy to come across, but that's not a forced play. If it's a forced play, it ends the inning. That's why it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in Major League Baseball. That's saying a lot, because I watched the Braves in the 1980s and there was a lot of dumb things going on. But
now let me ask you this. Now, what happened? Base hit, runner on second, 2 outs. Base hit. The run scores, but the runner at first tries to go to second. They tag him out.
That's a timing play.
Yeah,
that's timing. That's why the umpires do this to one another before the pitch. They reach out and they tap their wrist. That's a timing play.
But let's say if same scenario, but the guy running to first tears his hamstring, falls down, and he can't budge, even though that guy scores from second to home. If the center fielder throws the ball to first base because the guy's laying there with the torn hammy, it's a forced play. This is the reason why. Look up. We don't have time to get into that, but look up the Merkle boner that took place with the Chicago Cubs and the New York Baseball Giants. I think it was 06 or 07. It was right in the height of the Cubs' dominance. It's called the Merkle boner. It was being played in New York City, and the Cubs were on defense. Merkle was the guy that was on first. He was actually on first base. And there was a base hit, scores the runner from third. Fans hit the field, and he never tagged second. So in other words, it was runners on the corners. He never tagged second, okay? Because all these fans were just mobbing the field. So he said to hell with it. He didn't worry about it because he couldn't get to it. The baseball was rolling around in the crowd because back then you didn't have the structures. Someone grabbed it, ran, all the guys got the ball relayed. Long story short, they were jumping up and down on second base, and the umpire called him out. which meant that the game was still tied. And after a big bunch of raising hell about it, it was later on in the season that they had to replay that game, is what they decided to do, as opposed to just replaying the ending. They replayed that game. New York lost. The Giants lost. McGraw was furious about the whole situation. And that poor guy Merkel he was a good player. He was always known for the Merkel boner, is what they called it. We hear that now and go, boner? What the hell were they doing? But back then, a boner was a stupid play. But that wasn't one of him where he just didn't go tag the base. He's just like, I couldn't get to it, and I didn't want to get mobbed by these New York fans, so I just ran away. Anyways, moving on from that, the big news for Tampa, Wander Franco comes up tomorrow for the Boston Red Sox series. Huge deal for people to understand. That's the number one prospect in all of baseball. He's been ripping the cover off the ball. They've just been waiting for the Super 2 to clear, and Wander Franco is going to be probably sharing short and third, because they've had a couple of guys come up that have played really well. They're going to find a way. His bat is what makes Franco elite, but he is a very good defensive player. So it'll be interesting to see how they employ him. 3-game series in Tampa versus Boston, and then Boston hosts the Yankees this weekend, right? In Fenway for a 3-game series. I'll just put this real quick on the Fenway, the Rays Red Sox series. Rays need to win that series. They don't need to drop farther back, because without Glasnow, every game is going to be crucial. But it's going to be a lot of fun watching the Yankees and Red Sox go at it. So I'll throw that to y'all. Angelo, I'll start with you. Keys to winning that series.
It's going to be pitching. I think our hitting is slowly coming about. If we could get out that, I'm not sure who's going to be pitching that Friday night game. If we come out and win that first game, then I think we have a good chance. I feel like the Yankees, if they lose a first game in the series, they kind of put pressure on themselves to win the next 2, and then that's where you could see a sweep. I'm not confident about it. They're playing better, but I'm still not confident about it. We have to see how this week's series goes with Kansas City too. But ultimately, we just need to have good starts. Starters need to get depth, 6 innings. Then we could bring on our good bullpen. Even though Chapman's kind of been iffy. I mean, you don't have that triple play yesterday. Who knows what could have happened? But pitching depth, getting into the 6 innings, and our hitting will be fine, I think.
I mean, I know you got to worry about Kansas City, but realistically, you got to focus on that damn series, because every time you play a team in your division, especially when they're a top, 1 game's worth 2, right?
Right.
So, and plus, even since the days of George Brett, I feel like the Yankees have always owned the Royals. That's like sweating about the Twins. I wouldn't be sweating about the Royals. Teamish, you've got a long week in front of you, because you got 3 in Tampa and then 3 at home against New York. So how do the Red Sox shape up in that series?
Well, we do not play well in Tampa. Don't think I'm not thinking about this weekend, but we don't have the luxury of overlooking the Royals now. We have to face Tampa in Tampa, and if we go 4-2 in the next 6 games, I'm gonna dance an Irish jig, man. This is probably the biggest week for the Red Sox this season so far, and I agree with Angelo. I think if we get to starting pitching against the Yankees, if we can get to their starters, then the bullpen doesn't hold as much weight against us. But if it's 2-1 Yankees and we go, and then, we have to get into that bullpen, it's uphill for sure. Do I think the Yankees are back all the way? No. Do I think they're on their way? Yes. I think they have kind of turned a corner here recently. And with that lineup, they get on a hot streak. That's a hard monster to slow down. And pitching is everything. You know, if you got to have pitching to win the games. I think it comes down to the starting pitching on whichever team starting pitcher throws the best and goes the longest, wins that series. You just never know with that Yankee lineup. I mean, they pepper the monster there and they play well at Fenway. I'm pretty worried about Tampa, though, to be honest.
All right. So what are the pitching matchups looking like for the Red Sox Yankees series? Have y'all looked at them?
I tried this morning and could not find it. I want to say Evaldi is going on. He usually throws on Sundays. It's usually his day. And then, so I think if I'm not mistaken, it's Garrett and then Pavani and then Evaldi. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure.
All right,
that's
let me look it up because I feel like we're just guessing. I thought you had
Yeah.
actually done the damn homework.
I couldn't find
I
it.
think Chris Sale might come out of the bullpen, and then I
I'm
don't
looking
know.
at
Is
I'm
it
looking at probable right now, and it has Herman the Friday.
okay?
Montgomery.
Well, we can make some eliminations by looking at the earlier part of the week, because the earlier part of the week I've got that pulled up right now, and as far as the Rays and the Red Sox, it's Erod versus to be determined, which I can't believe that they haven't named a starter yet, but usually that means bullpen game. And so the Yankees, they have Garrett Cole going Tuesday, which means he would pitch Sunday night.
Sunday night, right?
Okay, so I got it here. It's Friday night is Herman against Perez, and then we have on Saturday Montgomery against Evaldi. So I was wrong about that. And then Sunday, Garrett Cole,
pitchers don't have a certain day that they pitch. It's every 5 days. It's not like
right. But usually,
except for Ohtani. For whatever reason, Ohtani pitches once every 7 or 8 days, and people want to call him an MVP.
So Sunday night is going to be Garrett Cole against Erod. Yeah,
you better get some W's before then. That's all I know, man. The Friday night game should be a light show because Herman has been and Perez sucks. I've had to stream Perez from time to time in fantasy. I've got Herman in fantasy, and Herman can have good outings. He can also walk the bases, and that's going to be one that could be a light show. And Saturday, I think, is definitely going to be a high-scoring game. But you better hope Erod is Erod of 2 years ago come Sunday night.
Whoever goes deeper in that first game,
whoever
goes deeper in that first game, right? Because say the Yankees, say Herman comes out, gives up 6 runs in 3 innings, and then they go to the bullpen that early. That's just, it puts immense pressure on the day 2 starter.
Yeah, the day 2 starter and the day 3 starter, if we're being honest. And that can go for either team, you know, right. And it's not like.
And you don't have to worry about rain affecting this the beginning of the week because they're going to be playing in Tampa, which is indoors. So Pivetta is going to go Thursday. I just looked that up. Richards is going Wednesday. They should have manipulated that before we got to this point, to be honest with you. Because I feel like being Tampa, it all comes down to matching up with bullpen, et cetera, et cetera. That's Tampa's game. When you get to Yankees versus Red Sox, the Red Sox need good starts. Yeah, because their bullpen's probably going to be depleted after playing Tampa. That's just the way that's the way Tampa normally does. Is they try to out bullpen you.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll bring a high leverage guy in the middle of the 4th inning. What the hell are they doing? So, well, I got to react to that. And so now I'm doing it. Next thing I know, my closer's not available, and we're in the middle of the 7th inning.
Well, Cora doesn't really fall into that, though. I don't think he really lets. I think he has a very.
Well, what I'm saying is that he will force you to go to Kevin Cash will force you to go to your bullpen before you want to. If you're in a game, if he's in a game, I'm telling you, if Kevin Cash gets a lead in the 4th or 5th inning against the Rays, he will start putting high leverage guys in there to shut you down. And then Cora has to go, am I going to continue to roll? We'll just say Garrett Richards out there who's struggling a little bit, or do I need to go ahead and jump in my bullpen because I need to keep this game close? So you're either going to punt the game and say, screw it, I can't win it, or you're going to try to go mano a mano with the Tampa bullpen. In a perfect world, you get great starts out of your starters this week, and you don't have to worry about it. But we all know the laws of baseball and the fact that there's all sticky gates going on. We're gonna have a lot of issues.
Let's be honest, we never know what's going to happen in a Red Sox Yankees series. I mean, if the Yankees were in last place and we were in first, or vice versa, when we play each other, everybody gets up for those games. So
the only thing that that's going to happen is there's going to be something that's unexpected, right?
Right. Yeah.
Where the unexpected happens.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to see something we've never seen before. And then we're going to say, oh my God, well, I've seen everything now, until they play the next series. And then we're going to be like, well, now I've seen everything, but we never have. And that's what makes this rivalry so much fun, and the fact that both teams are playing well just adds to it, and did I think we were going to go into Yankee Stadium and sweep? No, I was hoping to win the series. A sweep was a little bit of a stretch for me. Now we just got to hope the Yankees don't turn right around and hand it right back to us, and it could happen. It very well could happen. You never know when these two teams play each other.
Hey, let me just pose one question. Would it surprise you to see a new division leader after Sunday's game?
No.
No, because it's gonna be the Tampa Bay Rays, baby. We're about to sweep the freaking Red Sox down in Florida, and
it's I was thinking
the Red Sox might be in third place by Monday morning.
It could happen.
It's doubtful because that's probably like a 6-game losing streak, but it could happen.
Yeah, I'm going to go that far, but we need 4 out of 6, and that's a tall order against these teams.
Oh, 4 out of 6 against the 2 best teams in the division.
Yeah, tall order.
I'd be happy with 3 and 3 if I'm a Red Sox fan.
If we split it, we're okay. But I think if we win 4 out of 6 in the next 6 games against these 2 teams, I think that is a very strong statement about who this club is, where we are. But if we go 2 and 6 or 2 and 4, it's also going to say the same thing. I can,
and the sky's not falling if you go 2 and 4. This is a tough road. You go 0 and 6, that's when you're concerned. But I think I just feel like you're going into Tampa for 3. You're going to be at home, but you're against the Yankees for 3. You just don't want like a disastrous losing streak, and I think Boston will be fine. We're running out of time. Team, what's your walk-off real quick?
Well, all right. Let's beat Tampa, but we got to beat them Yankees this weekend because I hate losing, but I hate losing to the Yankees. So go Sox. Let's do what we do, and let's take these 2 series.
Angelo, what's your walk-off, sir?
With Gary Sanchez heating up, I'm going to make a prediction that by the end of the year, he'll be hitting 260 with 30 home runs.
Oh, I'd take that bet. that guy's more likely to be hitting 160. He might still have the 30 home runs, but he is swing or miss city. My walk-off is go Rays. Win the series against Boston. It's going to be tough without Glasnow, but if we can at least get 2 or 3, I'll be happy with it. Because then we just sit back and eat some popcorn and watch the Yankees and Red Sox battle it out. And we'll be here Monday to talk all about that because this weekend I mean, we're in the heart of a baseball season right now. Really big series, obviously. And Tampa Bay, they got to make sure that injury to Glasnow just doesn't define their season. They get the Angels at home this weekend. So just don't get swept by the Red Sox and everything will be all right. Because the Angels are just, I mean, come on. They're what they are every year. If we could just get some pitching, we'll put all your money into Albert Pujols and Mo Vaughn, and if things will work out a little better. We'll see you next Monday.